not the matchup that Alicia is really known for. Coming from a deficit, his first finals, DRG is a multi-tournament champion, a multi-time champion. It's an uphill battle.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like it's time to get this going. Are you ready? All right, and the countdown has started. The game will soon be loading. As you can see here, DRG with a pretty dominant, result rate here for ZVP. PVZ, yeah, for Alicia, he's had a tough time, but hell, he's gotten this far under pretty difficult circumstances. Who knows what he can do? Introducing our players, a champion, the best Zerg in the world. Show some love for DRG. On the opposite side of the map, kind of the dark horse of this tournament. Nobody thought he would get this far, but here he is. Can he make it all the way? Give it up for Alicia.
You know, Tasteless, I gotta say, it's nice to see Alicia in a finals, to be honest. When he first busted onto the scene in GSL, he was one of the best Protoss in the world. Suddenly, out of nowhere, he showed so much talent, so much skill, just taking down a lot of Terrans when no one else could. That's really how he made his name. His PvP was also very good at the time. He has excellent micro in that matchup. His PvZ, a little bit less so, though.
Well, Protoss versus Zerg operates actually in such a different way than the other two matchups. It's not very uncommon to get players who are very good in, for instance, PvT, but struggle in PvZ or vice versa.
Oh, absolutely. It's, normally a player is sufficient in PvP and really good at either PvZ or PvT. It's hard to find a Protoss that's truly balanced in all three matchups.
So this is going to be a very, very tough fight here for Alicia since, again, this is not his best matchup by any measure, and frankly, he's playing the best person for the opposing race. So yeah. I'm really excited to see, what strategies does Alicia do when everything's on the line. This is such a prestigious tournament. There's so much money, so much notoriety. What kind of strategies do you want to pull out?
Look, yeah, you're right. This is the biggest, most important MLG to date. As far as esports goes, it may be as well. I mean, this is a gigantic and important tournament, and this is it, man, the very, very end. He is not going to pull any punches here. Alicia is going to go all out, and DRG, I bet you we're going to see the exact same stuff that has won him championships before, that 3 hatchery build.
Now, when you watch DRG, it's actually pretty straightforward how to describe his style. He doesn't generally bother his opponent that much early on. He might do something to, cripple him a little bit, but what he really does is he invests in the mid-game and a little bit after the mid-game. He wants to get a bunch of Mutalisks out or get a bunch of Roaches out. He wants to attack you while you're on your third base. Yeah. He wants to hit your main with Mutalisks, then hit your third base with Zerglings, maybe run Zerglings into your main, and eventually, well, essentially, I should say, the Protoss player has to survive this sometimes 5 to 10 minute, hailstorm of Zerg units coming in from all different angles. And, we're going to see if Alicia is tough enough to handle it.
Well, right now, Alicia has scouted that third hatch for DRG, so he knows that it is just standard DRG as expected. In the meantime, the Overlord of DRG watching for the gas timing and the probe count at the natural. So he's really trying to get as much intel as possible so that he doesn't get caught off guard here.
As you can see here, the Overlord parked right over those 2 gases. Now he wants to keep an eye on those because one of the easiest ways to glean a bit of information about what your opponent might be up to is to count how many gases he has taken, how many similarities he's built, and then to also check and see how many probes are actually mining from that assimilator, because with StarCraft having only 2 resources, you can tell a lot by how much gas they want. That's going to say how much, are they going to tech hard? Are they going to get a lot of those upgrades early, stuff like that?
Yeah. Well, a Stalker has come out, and the Overlord will have to leave now. He doesn't have a lot of intel, just that no additional gases are taken yet. And when that did have to leave, he throws up the 2 gases. Notice he waited until the Overlord was out of range.
The Overlord's turning around.
Ooh, smart
and
move.
the Overlord sees both.
And when you see both there, you're going to think Robo. And that is exactly what he's doing here. So that's, oh, a beautiful surround there by DRG, catching that first Stalker. That is a bad mistake by Alicia.
Well, the first Stalker is so important. I mean, the Stalker is that mobile unit that you use to clean up the Zerglings as they're at the watchtowers. And losing it early on is actually quite impactful.
Indeed it is. Well, right now we have some more gates being added. Could this be a build like we saw from Sauce earlier, where he takes another base off of just, some Immortals and some Sentries? Or are we going to see some sort of timing attack here? Maybe an Immortal Sentry push?
Certainly a possibility. That's been getting more and more popular these days. It's interesting to see how many more builds these Protoss players can come up with after doing a fast expand.
Yeah. There are a lot, but it's getting whittled down a little bit. So,
it is.
DRG right now is going to figure it out because this Overlord is sneaking across. He's going to see that, in fact, there's a good number of gates in here. He's seen 5 gates so far, and now he sees the Robo as well and the Forge upgrading. DRG knows exactly what's going on and exactly what Alicia is capable of.
And that's not what Alicia wants. Near the Zerg's main, we see the Observers now coming in here. And here's where he's going to try to get. If we can get a shot inside the main here of the Zerg. There's an Observer now. There we go. And he's going to take a peek over here. He says, okay, I see the layer on the way. It's important to see how much information he can actually gather, because right now DRG knows everything. The question is, can Alicia get enough intel? And when he gets that intel, if he gets that intel, can he make all the right decisions?
Yeah. Well, now he's going to get more intel because he has those Zerglings over there, and he saw that Nexus go up. So that is very important. He knows that Alicia is, in fact, going for this 3-base build, and he shouldn't be surprised. This style of getting 5, 6 gateways with Immortal before taking a 3rd base against Zerg was actually kind of pioneered by Slayer's Puzzle, the teammate of Slayer's Alicia.
Yeah, when you get these teams together, oftentimes the players with all the same races tend to play a similar style. So DRG is probably aware of this style. I don't know how much experience he has training against it. Now, I don't believe the Observer has spotted the Spire yet. He wants to know, okay, is there going to be an infestation pit? What's going on? Now he sees the Spire. Now, remember what I said earlier. How does DRG play a PBZ, and actually, a ZVP or a ZVT for that matter? Waits till you're on 3 bases, and then harasses you with Mutalisks so much that you lost so many probes, so many pylons, so many stray units, so many tech structures that you've been knocked back into the Stone Age. And from there, DRG's on 5 bases and in a massive lead. You see the Zerglings now attacking the gateway, which was canceled. Whoa, very nice force field.
Wow, that was a good cancel as well. Those Zerglings trying to be a little bit annoying here, keeping Alicia in his base. Now, the setup that he's made, it's good against run-bys, but not as good against roaches.
Oh.
He's really metagaming quite strongly here.
Back in the base here of Alicia, this is some nerves. His army, he accidentally Guardian shielded. So that's a sign that, maybe he's getting a little shaky.
Yeah, he could be. That G key, if you don't switch it out, is right next to H. We do see Protosses do that from time to time, but, that's obviously a big mistake. Now, we do have Blink on the way, and Cannons as well, as we just saw. So he's preparing for Mutas. He hasn't seen Roaches yet. So, hey, it kind of should be Mutas then.
Now, the question is, will he have enough cannons there, everywhere to defend? And will he make them in the right locations? He can't overmake the cannons. If he overmakes the cannons, great. He's safe inside of his base, but DRG owns the map.
That's right. He needs to balance it, have Stalkers as well. The Cannons, really, he wants them to slow Mutas down and support the Stalkers when they get there, not just as the full defense. Well, those Mutas flying around, see if they can pick anything off, and if he can possibly kill some sentries that are a little bit out of position, then he can do something like either switch into Banelings or switch into Roaches.
I actually just witnessed the second accidental Guardian shield here from Alicia, so I'm getting a little bit worried for this guy. All right,
uh-oh.
The Link's coming in here now. Is he going to be ready?
Got up, and it's just not quick enough on those force fields. The Mutas targeting down sentries, and that is exactly what that was meant for. He really didn't waste any Mutas sent some Lings in, let those die, and now how many sentries are there? There's only 5 left, so nice targeting down.
Yeah, really nice stuff there. You know, one split-second mistake there, and you're going to get covered with Lings and Mutas, and you don't want to lose those sentries, that's for sure. Now, creep spread here, looking pretty good here for DRG. If it gets a little bit further than where it is now, it's going to be bad news. And by the way, we have Lings and Mutas gearing up here to try to attack this entrance. Very nice force field there, making sure that the gateway can't be hit so easily. Stalkers blink forward. I think DRG needs to turn around pretty soon here. It looks like what he's doing is he wants to make sure. Oh my God! Hold that thought. Lings coming in now into the main. He's going to go ahead and try to get as many probes as possible. But Stalkers blink over here, and so far I have to say, Alicia's defense has been pretty stellar.
It really has, but those Lings saw the Dark Shrine that was on the way, so that's going to help him out a lot. Now, a big run by so many Zerglings and Mutas coming in, targeting down on some sentries once again, as well as that Immortal, and now into the natural. DRG is absolutely everywhere.
Now, if you can get this Nexus, that would be huge. The Link still targeting it down. Muta's getting in the way. The Nexus is in the red. Is it going to go down? It's at 4 HP.
That is one Zergling shot.
Out of 1,000, oh my God, out of 1,000 shields
God.
and 1,000 hit points in the structure, 4 HP left. Meanwhile, another attack coming up here. He's going to try to tear down these cannons, and ideally get this Nexus as well. But once again, Alicia deflects it.
Man, during all this, DRG has gone up to 5 bases. He's getting Baneling speed. He's teching up, upgrading even more. But Psystorm is on the way.
We have DTs hitting his 5th base in the center. Meanwhile, Lings and Mutas coming down here towards that Nexus, which does go down now.
He finally does get that Nexus. So many Zerglings coming up into the main base. Does he have any High Templars up here to help out? It looks like no. In fact, he does not yet. And another Nexus might end up going down. Down it goes. Beautiful moves by DRG.
DRG now taking out 2 Nexuses, but don't forget these DTs over here have done a good amount of damage. They damaged that back base to the far right. They damaged the 5th. Now they're headed towards the main. Is DRG prepared? Right now, we have 78 drones to 63. If you can get a few more drone kills, that would be huge.
Well, right now, Alicia needs to rebuild some Nexuses, and he needs to get something done, hopefully with High Templars. He's moving out, but I don't see any High Templars in his army. In the meantime, DRG counterattacking, going after the last Nexus. Can he get it?
Looks like he's going to go to the other side. The force field's getting away to the Stalkers, so the Stalkers blink forward. Now hitting the probes, since they're all being forced to be into one place. Stalkers actually spread out on the map all over the place.
Wow, right now, I mean, Alicia is in some trouble, but if he can get some Psystorms out, that's huge. Psystorm is just so powerful against Ling, Baneling, Muta. And if he can get just a few off, he could turn this game into his favor.
All right, he's going to go try to counter now. Force fields are very important here. By the way, a lot of Banelings on the way, but he can get over here before the Banelings complete, pushing forward now.
Oh, he needs force fields, down some go, but that is so many Banelings just rolling in, coming around, but a lot of them are stuck as well. The Muta's coming in and attacking. Are there enough Stalkers to hold this all off?
I just think there's not enough. The Banelings rolling through here, and that may be the end of the story here. For Alicia, he lost all the sentries, everything that he built up throughout that entire game. He does have the Nexuses back, but look, it's 93 supply to 180, so essentially DRG doubling his opponent, now going into the main with the Mutas and hitting the Nexus pretty hard. It looks like this Nexus, once again, going to go down.
It is indeed, and he is up 100 supply. He's safe at home, everything looking great. Another Nexus does fall. And I mean, Alicia at this point does not have much to fall back on. His economy is shattered, his army is gone, and DRG has the most APM we've ever seen.
Yeah, DRG playing very quickly right now in this game. The 22 Mutalisks really causing a problem here. Now I have to say, Alicia can, I think, turtle for a little bit, or at least try to. And recoup, but right now DRG has maxed out supply, so he might as well try to get rid of some of these units and do some more damage again.
DRG hitting this wall once again, just so many endless units. Alicia forcing him back, But every single thing that he loses, like he loses that gateway, a little bit less production, and that's 150 minerals gone. So DRG is just waiting for Alicia to starve out.
Yeah, also, you got to keep in mind that every time he loses that gateway, if he doesn't remake it and spends his money elsewhere, oh my god, that's a lot of banelings.
That is.
That's going to be
55
another
morphing.
So, wow.
I think that might end it, Tasteless.
That might just do it. All right, the banelings now heading southward.
And
it
here
looks like he
go.
may attack right in the middle.
He could knock those rocks down and still go up and kill him.
Yes, he could. All right, here we go. Can Alicia hang on?
Archons are good against banelings, but how good are they? Nice
wow, just too many banelings filling in here. Actually being used in the Nexus and GG.
Wow,
Beautiful play there by
DRG.
DRG, yeah.
Dominating performance. Alicia really did defend well for a very long time, but just could not manage to get Psystorm going.
Right. You know, when DRG got in there, just like we said, he waits till you're on 3 bases. He forces your army to be split up. He finds the weakness, and then he kills you. I think Alicia, the big mistake coming from Alicia was actually pushing out after that happened. I think he should have stayed with DTs. He did some damage. He did. Killed an expansion, killed some drones, try to stay back and turtle from there. DJ, wait, Apollo, talk to me.
All right. I think one of the mistakes may have been I think High Templar and Storm is the answer. That's the answer. Maybe if he'd switched the DTs for the High Templar to initially begin with, because of course the DTs were the first real investment of gas, and that's the sole reason why the High Templar was so late in that game coming in. Maybe if he'd switched it around, he could have dealt with that better, but it's a decision that Alicia had to choose from. It was, do I go DTs first and try to slow down his economy and hang on until I get Storm out, or do I go Storm first and then deal with the economy later? You know, it's a decision you had to go through.
And, you know, hindsight's 20. Ts did virtually no damage. I mean, they did do some damage, but when you think about that 2 Nexuses fall, and then that gateway fell like 30 times at the 3rd, and then he attacked the probes, and that was actually one of my favorite moments of the game, is that Alicia had to force all of his probes to that 3rd base. So what did DRG do? It looked like he was going in for the Nexus, but no, he was just picking off that huge, huge collection of probes right there. So, I mean, really played phenomenally. And as a Zerg player myself, I mean, we don't see a whole lot of mutable play versus Protoss. You have to be as good as DRG, really, in my opinion, to be able to pull that off.
That's it.
But the problem is, DJ Wheat, is anyone as good as DRG?
I don't know, Artosis.
I don't know, guys. Well, we're going to be going on to game number 2 after the short break, so stay tuned for MLG Championship Sunday.